What's poppin', guys? Kyle here, and today we are going to be doing a predictions for Night of Champions, which will be happening this Saturday in Saudi Arabia. Now, I don't know what the card's looking like right now, but I'm going to take a guess and say that the match with Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross is going to be the first matchup, and I'm honestly kind of surprised they got this one on the card here, right? So the storyline behind this one is that Sami Zayn keeps going backstage and Karrion Kross will interrupt him and be like, "Oh, well, I'm sure you couldn't beat me in a match," right? So that's basically the story behind this match. And as for if I think it's interesting, no. This ain't none extraordinary, but honestly, thinking about it now, I think I know why this matchup is on the card. They probably want to test out Karrion Kross and see, like, what does he got? This is one guy that I've been saying, people have been saying a lot actually in the IWC. They're like, "Oh my God, Karrion Kross, such a big deal. Oh, he's this jobber that like nobody uses." Yeah, right, exactly. He's a jobber that they don't use. So it looks like they're going to use him here and see what you got with him. Now, honestly, I don't think he's anything extraordinary, but that's just me. I honestly could say the same thing for Sami Zayn, but he just gets pushed more, I think, because, he's somebody that Triple H likes. But as for who I think is going to win this match, I mean, since Sami Zayn's a huge draw in Saudi Arabia, like the crowds go crazy for him over there, I can only imagine that they're going to give it to him. So, Sami Zayn, you're going to get the win there, I think. The next matchup, which actually involves a championship, which, Night of Champions, and it's going to get ironic why, I'm mentioning this in a minute, but it's going to be the United States champion, which right now is Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa. So, the storyline behind this one, so this week on SmackDown, or the last week on SmackDown, my bad, there was a segment where Solo came out and was like, "Yo, Jacob, please forgive me. Like, all you have to do is say I love you." So, like, he was trying to make amends with Jacob Fatu, right? But Jacob wasn't having it. So, now we're getting this match at Night of Champions. And who do I think is going to win this one? Based off, yeah, you could say right now they're giving Solo a little push there, but I still think Fatu's going to win this matchup. All right, the next matchup, we got Rhea Ripley, or also known as Mommy to the IWC, or just the fans in general, versus Raquel Rodriguez in a street fight. So, this is one of those matches where I actually I think this is going to be a good one. There hasn't been too many, like, women's street fights too often, so whenever you can get one, I think that's pretty cool. But this matchup, I mean, as for who I think is going to win it, if I was going to say, like, if they're going to continue the feud, I think Raquel's going to win it. But if they want to end this little, like, mini feud that they got for Night of Champions here, then Rhea Ripley's going to win. But if I had to say, like, for real, who I think is going to win it, I'm going to say Rhea Ripley wins it. And another thing that I like about this matchup, so both these women, they're bigger women on the roster, So that's another thing that you could say with this matchup that's pretty cool. And the next matchup we got is Jade Cargill versus the returning Asuka. Yeah, this is interesting that they brought her back here. So who's going to win this matchup? And the reason why this one is happening is that this is the Queen of the Ring matchup. So the King of the Ring matchup is going to be the next one up here, So who do I think is going to win this one? I mean, Asuka's been around for a while. They could spin it as, okay, well, Asuka's going to put over Jade Cargill, which I think that's what's going to happen. And yes, guys, I think Jade Cargill is going to win this matchup. So I agree with what the theory is out there that Asuka's going to put over Jade. And with this now, I think what could happen is that Jade could challenge for whoever wins. Or, like, I think so we've seen on SmackDown the past few weeks, right, where Jade will take a little hint at, like, okay, well, she wants Tiffany Stratton's WWE Women's Championship. I think that's what's going to happen at SummerSlam, and you could get a potential scenario where, like, Naomi will cash in on Jade as she just won it. I mean, that's a decent little storyline that you could pull right there, right? So I think that's what's going to happen, including for at SummerSlam too. The next matchup we got is Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. Oh yeah, I know the fans do that one a lot. Now, who do I think's gonna win this matchup? Well, what we've been seeing over the past couple of days, and especially at Fanatics Fest, was that Cody Rhodes hinted that his face run was gonna be over, and I'm thinking here, if he wins this matchup, right, does he start to use some little heel tactics on whoever is the WWE champion come SummerSlam, right? That's something that I could possibly see happening. But as for this matchup, I think this is going to be a good match. I mean, obviously, Randy Orton's a good in-ring wrestler, and I think Cody is fine enough as it is, right? So, if I had to say who is going to win the matchup, I think it's Cody. I mean, I still think the company believes in him. They still want him to be the guy, and it's like, when you really look on his resume, there's a glaring thing that's not there, and that thing is that he hasn't been the king of the ring before, and that is there for Randy. So, I think, if they gave it to Randy at this stage in his career, I think it'd be kind of weird. I mean, especially because he's already won it before and he's older. So, yeah, I just think for all those reasons, I think Cody's going to win this one without a doubt. And now we're on to the main event of Night of Champions, which actually a championship will be defended on this one. So it's going to be, yes, John Cena, baby. He's the champion right now versus CM Punk, which last week on SmackDown, John Cena had that fire. It kind of was, it was his version of the pipe bomb, which absolutely was spit facts. We could certainly talk about CM Punk a lot more in another day, but as for if this match was going to be good, I mean, these are the two guys that I was talking about in the Royal Rumble. I'm like, these are two older guys. They're kind of washed, so this matchup in the ring, I don't think is going to be that good. I mean, yeah, it'll be cool to see, the 5 moves of Doom, of course. And it's going to be interesting, right? So the whole scenario behind this matchup with CM Punk is that, he's Punk, so obviously it's like, he don't like to sell out, but, I think that is not actually the case for him, I will like to say that he is actually called CM Sellout because he said, and I remember 5 years ago, he made fun of The Miz and was like, oh yeah, go get that bag in Saudi Arabia, bro. Meanwhile, 5 years later, he's the guy doing that. So, this dude is just, I don't know. I don't know, man. So, it's going to be interesting to see how the crowd reacts to him in Saudi Arabia, considering his past comments about how, like, oh, he would never go there and stuff like that. And I do believe that there is a lot of, like, wrestlers that are just they're just no-showing it, like they're making up some injury, like, oh, I broke my hand, or oh, I broke my femur. Well, not breaking your femur would be kind of crazy, though. Like, that's a lot to deal with. But, you know what I mean? Like, they're going to make up some, weird injury to say that they can't go, like, oh, I hurt my ribs or something like that, to say that they can't go. And based off Cena's pipe bomb last week on SmackDown, I think the fans are going to be a little bit more on Cena's side now. I think this could be the peelings or the rumblings to start him going back to being a face, which I was saying, I've been telling people this. It's like, there's no way they're going to end Cena's run in WWE having him be some heel. There's no way, because that his whole career, he was just known as being the top guy, the superstar, the superhero, right? The big baby face, right? I just can't imagine they're going to, end his career off with him being a heel. So, I think the crowd will be on his side for this matchup. Although I'm not going to say how the crowd in Saudi Arabia is going to react because I don't know how they are for real, But who do I think is going to win this matchup? I think it's going to be another matchup where, Cena's going to use dirty tactics to win again. And that's how I think it's going to go down. And anyways, guys, so that's going to do it for my predictions for Night of Champions in the great holy land of Saudi Arabia, right? Oh, jeez. Now, I have some bonus time here, and the one thing I'm just looking at with this card is, where the hell are all the champions at? So, you're telling me there's only 2 champions that are defending their titles this week? Now, we could run down the list and like, oh, well, he said he's injured, and then she said she was injured, right? We could play that game and then come to the conclusion that, okay, this is why the card is what it is, right? But it seems like also, too, they're combining 2 PLEs with this one. It's like, if you're going to have Night of Champions, have it be where all the champions, have it be the name, actually, right? Like, I think they could have done something here where it was like, okay, this match, this PLE probably should have been called King and Queen of the Ring. Like, they should have did what they did last year. Now, I'm sure because this year, right, this is going to be the only PLE that Saudi Arabia is getting, it looks like. So they were probably like, well, we want it to be called Night of Champions because, we in Saudi Arabia love our champions, right? So that's probably why they have it be Night of Champions. But I would have obviously had this be King and Queen of the Ring. It was in Saudi Arabia last year. I actually want to do a video about, like, some of the outfits that the women wear because, women's wrestling and, the whole situation in Saudi Arabia with women, it's really different than here in America, right? I'm curious if, like, the women are going to be, like, having any body parts exposed because, like, you have to wear basically in Saudi Arabia, like, if you're a woman, you basically, like, can't show any skin, right? So I'm wondering if they're going to uphold that for this PLE here still. Although I heard some that, like, they may get rid of that, which, if it was up to me, I don't know if I should give my opinion on that. I don't think that's what this video is for. But yeah, I do want to do a video about, like, some of the outfits that, the women were wearing in Saudi Arabia last year for the matchups. And anyways, guys, with all that, talk about, Saudi Arabia, Night Champions, PLE, all that talk out of the way, that's going to do it for this video here today. If you guys are loving that, your boy Kyle's back, of course, subscribe, leave a like, do whatever you want to do. And until next time, guys, remember, we the ones.